A warm good morning to one and all. Today, the chief guest of honor with us is Captain Pillai sir, and he's a NORAD Fellow in Management, awarded by UNESCO, an ISO 9000 consultant, and ISO 14000 environmental auditor. He's a member of International Management Consultant Association and consultant to Kerala State Planning Board. He conducted training in USA, China, Norway and Singapore, and he visited 35 countries and studied farming techniques and policies. And moreover, he experienced as a manager, as a teacher, as a consultant for 45 years. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
We extend a warm welcome to you, sir, to our college, and it's an honor as well as pleasure to invite you here.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here because I had an emotional attachment with this institution, because in 1995 we had an organization called Kerala Watch. I was the secretary and president was T.N. Jayachandran IAS, and D.C. Kidakemuri was the member. There were only 10 members. So I had a lot of interaction with him at that time. And one of the things we used to discuss was to start an MBA course in 1994. So I'm lucky to be here now. This is the first time. Yeah. I'm really happy to be here.
Okay. So actually, you started your career as a naval officer, right? So what was the turning point why you switched to management field? What was the turning point why you chose management field?
Good question. So 1991 war, I was able to participate. I was commanding INS Atul, and I had operations in Bangladesh as well as in the western coast. I was hunting Pakistani submarine, nuclear submarine, INS Ghazi, and the hunt was successful and it was destroyed. And the war was over, and after that I was transferred to Cochin. And when I came to Cochin, I was in the training, and it seemed to me that in my lifetime there is not going to be another war, which proved to be correct.
Okay.
So without war, life in the Navy is dull.
Okay.
So I was in Cochin, so one day I had listened to a speech by Dr. M.B. Pillai, and I was initiated to management. So immediately I applied and I joined for the 3-year part-time course in Cochin University, and I joined the MBA program.
Okay.
So it was done as a side, sir?
That evening course, the first degree evening course in our country was in Cochin University. At that time, you were director Sri Kumar. He was in the full-time first year full-time batch.
Okay.
So we had a lot of interaction with Sri Kumar. He was a wonderful guy. Very energetic, organizing a lot of seminars and things like that. I still remember him as a young young graduate like you, running around organizing seminars. It was a wonderful thing.
Okay.
So what similarities do you find in naval as a naval officer, as well as when you had taken your profession into management? So what all similarities do you find?
Right. See, basically, the management profession was developed by US Navy, US Air Force and US Army. More by US Navy. The techniques like work study, PERT, CPM and operations research, these are all techniques developed by US Navy and US Air Force. Now, the organizational principle, actually whatever organization principle you are studying, it was initially started by Buddhist monks, later taken over by Catholic Church, and then adopted by Roman army, and from that passed down to armed forces. So if you look around from Napoleon's time, the military science, which I studied in the army, in the navy, they are the one who really implement management, because in war you cannot fail. If you fail, you are dead. But in business you can still fail and you can go to the government for support, like in USA. You can get some support, but in war there is no choice. If you fail means you are dead. So it is the military which uses management principle in its entirety. And I was lucky that I did my MBA, and after that I was in charge of the first naval training establishment in Cochin. Then I was in the INS Mysore, a ship, a cruiser ship. I was able to implement work study principle in armamenting, ammunitioning process in the Indian Navy.
Okay.
So that was in so I was able to do the work study principle in the Indian Navy. And still it is followed by Indian Navy.
That's
So
really
it's
great.
very satisfying.
That's really great, sir. So actually, if you look Navy and management, what are things the future managers have to learn from Navy, and what are things the Navy people, the military people, they have to learn from the Navy management students?
Very good question. One thing is discipline.
Okay.
Now you are lucky to have a brigadier as your director.
Yeah.
And the discipline. What is discipline? From a military point of view, if I ask you, let's go and have an ice cream. You don't need any discipline to accept that invitation, do you? No. Now, discipline comes, it's important when you are to an unpleasant thing. Remember this. So, in the military, let's say Brigadier Ashok is giving a command. He got a group of people. Here is a minefield. Run over it. They run. They know they are going to be blown up into pieces. But still they run, because the first 10 will perish, the next 1,000 can walk through. So discipline is required at that time, when you are asked to do an unpleasant thing for the good of you, or for the group, or for the country. Now, what I find, you go to government secretariat to Trivandrum, 10 o'clock, nobody is there. The Chief Minister want to put up a punching machine. It is failed last 20 years. At 10 o'clock, 10:30, nobody is there. So, if you are to arrive in the office exactly at 10 o'clock, it requires a lot of discipline. You have to start early. If there is rain or sun, the bus breaks down, you have to make alternatives and reach there. So remember, what is discipline? That is, do unpleasant things and do your commitment. So that is discipline. And that is what the industry and the country and the people need. And that I was lucky to learn from the armed forces.
So, what the army officers, is there anything that army officers have to learn from the management students?
Yes, for example, planning. Now, army is doing their planning because every campaign and every movement and everything is meticulously planned and executed. You see. Now, in the industry, the only difference what the army have to learn from the modern management techniques are that is financial aspect. You see, in the army normally there is enormous resources.
Okay.
Normally, when you go to war, funds are limitless. Now, in industry, it is controlled and limited. So, when it comes to finance management, army, military, they have to learn a lot. So, that's what they have to learn from the industry and new management principles.
So, what all difficulties have you faced, like when you have changed your profession from naval officer to a management, a person in management field? What all difficulties did you face?
Yes. There were many difficulties because at that time I was the first naval officer to do an MBA. See, and
so to adding on to that, as you had a career as a naval officer, the disciplines, as you had said, it was an added advantage.
That's right. That's right. So I could do well, and wherever I went, I was able to do well. For example, you see, like after that, after doing my MBA only, I wrote an examination, all India examination. I got a first rank in management. See, this one, I got a first rank in written examination. It's because of my MBA. So then, when I went to Norway, I was a sportsman earlier, but when I went to Norway, skiing is the most important sports item there, and I learned skiing there, represented India, and I won a world title. So this, actually at that time I applied a lot of management principles. as a student, ski learner and a sports person.
Okay.
So even sports, you can apply management.
Okay.
See? So I wish our sports council and all this, they put more MBAs to them so that they can better make use of our talents.
Okay. So my another question is that we have NCC, I mean this NCC for graduation level, and coming to the management, talking about the MBA, and there is not any specialization in RB, nothing like that. Actually, I think that there's a lot of scope for we people. Some people believe that we can done a lot in army. They really have that patriotic feeling. We need to do something for the country, but there is not at all any specialization in RB, management in RB, nothing like that. So, is it possible to bring a course, something like that? What is your opinion about that?
Excellent idea. In fact, Professor Srikumar, he was involved in a program, joined with the Navy and INS Hamsa. INS Hamsa is a naval establishment in Mumbai. So there is a logistic department in Indian Navy for officers. So he was involved with preparing a course program for naval officers who will be awarded with a degree. Now, you can have the same program here. Here in this institution, you offer a 1-year program in logistic management, and the graduates can be immediately appointed in the armed forces, Army Supply Corps, Air Force Supply Division Corps, and also Navy Logistic Division. So it is high time you go to USA. There are many such courses. The last Chief of Staff in America, he's an MBA, and there are a lot of consideration given for MBAs by the armed forces. And similarly, education institutions. So here there is nothing start from DC school to start a logistic program as an MBA program, and they can be absorbed in the armed forces.
So it's very interesting to know that from your profile you got a great interest, you got a great achievements in agricultural background. So what is the beat that took you into such a scenario?
Agriculture.
Yes, sir.
See, I am basically from a marginal farmers family. My parents were illiterate farmers, and I grew up working in the field, and etc. I can do all the farming activities. So I had a attachment to soil. Even today I work every weekend. I must work 2-3 hours with my hand on the soil. Otherwise I feel very unhappy. So I do that to keep it up. It helps my health as well as emotional stability. So, and stress relief. See, a lot of good thing. Now, as a country, I follow Mahatma Gandhi. So I was reading his memoirs, and there was a book written by Ruskin, which says the noblest profession on earth is agriculture. Because the human race, they changed from apes to human being by the invention of agriculture. What is the difference between organism and human being is that human beings produce their food. But today, it is the most neglected profession. Now, once I went to agriculture college, I was conducting a class for MSc students, and I asked one of them, are you willing to marry a farmer? Saying that there is a very young, healthy man earning 5-figure salary, or not salary, income. Still they said no. Not one girl was willing to marry a farmer. So this is the status quo of a farmer today in our country. Agriculture is dying in our country. It's only in our country, and especially in Kerala. You go to Norway, you go to USA, you go to Japan. Even today, farming is the most noblest and well-paid activity. In Norway, farming is protected. A doctor, he may resign from the job and go